Welcome students. So today we shall be learning about the mechanism of enzyme action. How the enzyme action occurs, what is the mechanism behind this, and what are the various theories that govern the attachment of substrate with enzymes. So basically the enzyme action can be divided into two parts, or we can say it can be understood by two different concepts. The first one being, if we talk in terms of energy. So the first one is in terms of energy, whereas the second one is in terms of active site facilitating catalysis. So that is a different theory. So now we shall be starting it with the first one, that is in terms of activation energy. So all chemical reactions have an energy barrier separating the reactants and products. This barrier is known as free energy of activation. So this energy barrier is known as free energy of activation, or you have somewhere read the terms the Gibbs free energy. So this is linked to that. So to understand this, let us plot a graph between this free energy and the progress of reaction. So we shall be plotting a graph between free energy and progress of reaction. So let us now consider that this is a point A and this is generally related to the reactants, whereas this is a point B, or the energy associated with that of products. So now we can see this energy gap, or the difference in the free energy between the reactants and products. So students, this is the delta G value, or the Gibbs free energy, that is equal to the difference in energy of reactants and products. So without the presence of a catalyst, the reactants have to reach a particular transition state from where they can be converted back into the products. So this is known as the transition state, that is usually having a very high energy than that of the reactants, and this is known as a high energy intermediate product. So a reaction will be proceeding just like this. We can see that this is the transition state, or the transition intermediate, and usually this occurs in an uncatalyzed reaction. This is an uncatalyzed reaction in absence of a catalyst, or usually in absence of an enzyme. But in case of enzymes presence, this energy is very less, as an alternate reaction pathway is provided. An enzyme allows a reaction to proceed rapidly under conditions prevailing in the cell by providing an alternative reaction pathway. The enzyme does not change the free energies of the reactants or products and therefore does not change the equilibrium of the reaction. So, this is, we can say, a tunnel or an alternate pathway. So, how does this occurs? In presence of a catalyst, an alternate pathway is provided for the reactants to reach the stage of products. So, here we can see that this gap is associated with the free energy of activation in a catalyzed reaction. Whereas this is the free energy of an uncatalyzed reaction. Now you can clearly see the difference in the gap, and this difference is only in presence of an enzyme. So a general reaction can be obtained that is represented through that enzyme plus substrate. They will reach in an equilibrium to a transition state of enzyme substrate complex, which is finally converted into enzyme and product. So this is usually a transition state of enzyme substrate complex. This is the state in which the product formation occurs. So this was regarding the mechanism of enzyme action in terms of energy changes. So students, remember this graph very clearly, or this plot. Through this plot we can easily understand that how a reaction progresses in a catalyzed and an uncatalyzed pathway. The next concept that governs the mechanism of enzyme action is in terms of active site facilitating catalysis. In terms of active site facilitating catalysis. So this is our second concept. So in order to understand this, we must first understand that what is an active site. So you all must be familiar with the term of active site firstly in order to understand this. So what is an active site? Let us draw the simple diagram for an enzyme. This is just a representation. Now this is an enzyme. This particular darkened area here, you can see this is the active site. Now this darkened area is the active site. So this is basically a small region of an enzyme at which substrate binds and participates in catalysis. So this is a particular place where the attachment of the substrate occurs. So in order to attach here, the substrate must be of the same shape. For example, if we draw a substrate like this substrate can easily bind into the active site, whereas any other substrate which is of different shape this substrate cannot bind with the active site due to its irregularity in the shape. So, now let us see what are the different theories that govern the attachment of the substrate with that of enzymes on the active site. The first theory is the lock and key model, a very common and familiar theory known as the lock and key model. So, we all know that for a particular lock there is only a specific key, and this theory was proposed by a German biochemist Emil Fischer and also known as Fischer template theory or the lock and key hypothesis. So, students remember the other name is Fischer template theory. This was a German biochemist who proposed this. According to this model, the structure of conformation of the enzyme is rigid. The substrate fits to the binding site known as the active site, just as the key fits into a proper lock or hand into the proper glove. So, to understand this, let us draw the structure of an enzyme here. So, in order just to understand this, consider that this is an enzyme, and to bind a substrate it must be in the similar shape to that of this. For example, let us consider the structure of a substrate like this. So, a substrate that is in this shape can only bind here to complete the reaction, just as a particular key fits into a particular lock. For example, this is a key and this is a lock. So, they will bind together So, if this is an enzyme, the substrate will surely come and bind into this enzyme. So, students, this was the Fischer's lock and key model. The next theory that is helpful in order to understand the mechanism of enzyme action is also known as the Koshland's model or induced fit theory. So, Koshland in 1958 proposed a more acceptable and a realistic model for enzyme substrate complex formation known as a Koshland's model. So, this is also known as Koshland's model. So, in the induced fit theory or the Fischer's theory, it was considered that the active site or the enzyme is rigid. So, the key points here are that the enzyme is rigid, the substrate fits to the binding site, and this model does not hence fails to explain many effects of enzyme reaction, the most important being the effect of allosteric modulators. Here there was a question mark regarding the allosteric modulation. So, this theory failed regarding the allosteric modulation of enzymes. So in order to understand that concept clearly, Koshland proposed the induced fit theory in 1958. So as per this model, the active site is not rigid and pre-shaped. So this method, so this theory proposed that, this model proposed that active site is not rigid and pre-shaped. The essential features of the substrate binding site are present at the nascent active site. So the interaction of the substrate with the enzyme induces a fit or a conformation change in the enzyme. So a conformational is induced at, we can say, the nascent active site that results in the formation of a strong substrate binding site. Further, due to the induced fit, the appropriate amino acid of the enzymes are repositioned to form an active site and bring about the catalysis. So let us draw a diagram for this, that how this induced fit theory works. So let us consider that this is an enzyme where this is an nascent active site and in presence of a particular substrate. So in presence of a particular substrate, a conformational change is induced at this active site that leads to binding of both the substrate and enzyme, and there is a change on the structure of the active site. So usually this leads to a conformational change. On the active site and leads to the formation of the enzyme substrate complex. So here is the enzyme and the substrate is attached on this. So this is the enzyme substrate complex. This theory has sufficient experimental evidence from the X-ray diffraction studies to explain the actions of allosteric modulators and competitive inhibitions, whereas a third theory known as the substrate strain theory is also present. Known as the substrate strain theory. This is somewhat similar to that of the Koshland's model. And this also explains the interaction between an enzyme and its substrate involving the transition state stabilization. So how a transition state stabilization occurs? So this occurs due to the strain or the enzyme that induces a strain to the substrate. The strained substrate leads to the formation of the product. In fact, a combination of the induced fit model with the substrate strain theory is considered to be operative in the enzyme action. So the substrate is strained due to the induced conformation change in the enzyme, and it is possible only that when a substrate binds to the performed active site only. So a particular strain is induced. So in case we can say simply that there is a bending in the structure of substrate. So in order to understand this, let us see how this works. So if this is a enzyme with a nascent active site, and this is the active site. So on addition of a substrate, this leads to a strain which is induced on the substrate and brings about the conformational changes. Now this is an enzyme, and there is an induced strain on the substrate, which usually leads to bending of the structure. So you can see here that there is a bending of the substrate due to the strain induced. So students, these were the various theories and concepts that govern the enzyme action. So we have learned about the energy changes that are occurring in this. The first one in terms of energy. So how this difference in the energy of reactant and products is vital to complete the reaction. And secondly, in terms of the active site facilitating the catalysis. So the active site is explained by the lock and key model, the Fischer's template theory, then by the induced width theory, and last by the substrate strain theory. So the Koshland's model and the substrate strain theory is the perfect explanation to consider the operations of the enzyme action.